All right, well, thank you very much for joining us here again this afternoon. I'm here today to announce that the victim from the alleged sexual assault that occurred on Back Cove Trail on Wednesday, August 12th, has recanted. Detectives completed their investigation with an additional follow-up with her, and she acknowledged the fact that no sexual assault or, in fact, no crime occurred in the Back Cove Trail area in the city of Portland. Her motivation behind the initial report is unknown at this time, and quite frankly may never be known. But I would like to acknowledge your efforts and the efforts of the community surrounding this investigation. I think we work in partnership to get the word out when we are concerned about public safety. I can tell you that citizens, members of the community, members of the entire region have contacted us. Individuals have called to really show their true compassion, the compassion of this entire region, offering up to $5,000 for rewards, and people that weren't involved in this in any way. But they heard the story, they were concerned, and they decided to reach out to us. So I think that I've mentioned the word traumatic multiple times over the last couple of days, because while these incidents are certainly traumatic to the victims, they're traumatic to the communities as well. And people are concerned, people are scared. And I would appreciate you reaching back out to them to let them know that the victim has in fact recanted, and there should be no safety concerns around Baxter Boulevard or any place else in the city beyond day-to-day activities. I also certainly would like to reinforce the safety points that we did put out throughout this conversation to talk about things that people can do to make them safer out in the community. So certainly we would be willing to answer some questions if at all possible.
People are going to want to know, would she be charged with filing a false report? Or?
Yeah, it's an excellent question, Jim, and I think that that portion of our investigation is ongoing. We'll have to do some additional research on that. That is absolutely an option at this time.
Is that the charge?
Yes, filing a false report would be the underlying criminal charge if in fact that's brought.
Can you talk at all about how, if the community coming forward actually helped you guys realize that this is what was going on here?
Yeah, I think that what we do in these cases is we vet information as we come upon it. Mm-hmm. So some information that the victim had given us, some information that the public had given us about being in that general area and not having seen anything, is all information that helps us come down to a final determination. So this final determination in many cases means sitting down with the individual and saying, this is what we know for sure. Can you explain away some of the facts and information that you may have given us earlier? And those things happened, and ultimately she did acknowledge the fact that it never occurred.
And when did that happen?
It happened this morning.
And during the initial report that you took from her, was there anything suspicious to indicate that she might not be telling the truth?
Well, we treat these incidents very seriously. I think we walk a fine line every single day. There are members of our media friends that would say we don't put out information fast enough in many cases, and I've had those meetings recently as well. But we have to vet these things one thing at a time, and we walk the line around, is this a true public safety emergency? If in fact this happened, we want to make sure the public knows about it, and they know about it as fast as humanly possible. So while an assault that happened on Back Bay at 12:15 in the afternoon with all of the pedestrian traffic initially may have raised some concerns on our end, we absolutely investigated this full bore as if it was a stranger sexual assault in our community.
And Chief, could you talk about why it's particularly troublesome from a police perspective to have people make a false statement like this?
Well, first and foremost, I'm concerned about the community that we serve and the fact that they've gone about 48 hours with this in the forefront of their mind about, is this the kind of community that we live in? And it's not. And I think that we know that day to day, but when incidents like this occur, it's something that we want to get out, and then citizens become concerned about ultimately. I also am concerned as a law enforcement officer that people look at one incident like this, which is an extreme, it's an exception to the rule, and then they would think overall, well, victims in these kind of cases, maybe they're not telling the truth. And we don't look at that that way. We're concerned, we want victims to come forward. We don't want this particular case to impact this entire process negatively.
What is the motivation? Because we thought about this yesterday. Your people probably did as well, but I mean, the victim wasn't identified. So what is the camping for the attention, or what is your experience telling you?
Yeah, it's hard to tell, Jim, and I won't be able to really make a comment on that. It certainly could be attention, it could be a lot of other things. It's unknown at this point, so I guess I won't guess. Essentially, would be my response to that.
One other thing, we're hearing already a lot of people angry that we got a alarm for nothing, and you know, and how much money does this cost the city to send all your people out?
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
I can understand that anger. I can understand the frustration. We've had detectives working on this case nonstop. You know.